Howdy folks, this is Novice Gamer. Just wanted to touch base with y'all and show you some of the exciting things that are working here on the server. I've got some damage to my ship I got to fix here. I had a little crash when I was testing some of the server functionality. I should do that with my admin character, not my player character, but you know, nobody ever said I was that smart. So what I'm doing right here is I'm out just scanning some territories. I created a little small factory and got to where I could create this big territory scanner. There's a different territory scanner for the mining units, but this is the legacy territory scanner. So I created that, so I'm just scanning. I'm actually looking for a bauxite mega. And what I'm talking about when I say mega, let me go to my inventory and show you some of the scans I've done. So you scan a territory, it shows you what's in it. How much quartz, how much coal, how much hematite, bauxite, limestone, malachite, or whatever is on that planet, right? Different ores, different planets. But let me find you one that has a mega on it. What I've been doing is looking for megas. There's a mega. There's a hematite mega of 1,000,000, right? I call anything over like 800K liters a mega. So there's 1,000,000 liters, definitely a mega. I found some with 3 or 4 million liters on them. But I've got one for hematite, I've got one for coal, I've got one for quartz. I'm looking for a bauxite mega, and what I do is I mark it, I go to it, mine a couple hundred kiloliters for my factory, and then I'll come back and mine some more when I need more, right? So I can go do that like say 10 times before I've depleted if it's only 1,000,000, but most of these are like closer to 2 or 4. So I found several hematite megas. There must be, I just found one yesterday that between it and the adjoining territory was like 5 million. So there's a lot of good stuff out there. You can also see which tiles, let me see if I can find one that has it here. Oh, there's one with cobaltite, right? So that's on Sakari. So I was on Sakari checking stuff. Let me show you a real cool thing here. So I flew to Sakari, and oh, by the way, Commander Taco has fixed the speed. So it's just like in beta now, you can go 50K, no matter what size your ship is. So the time to get to the other planets, if you're running missions or whatever, is cut at least in half typically. Like for example, my ship would go like 20K before he implemented that fixed and to get it to the legacy 50K speed. And so 20 versus 50K, that's more than twice as fast. So if it's a 3-hour trip, it's going to be about an hour and 15, hour and 20 then. So that's a massive massive difference here. So so what I'm looking for here is where I was mining on. Let's see here. What's this one? This is Alioth. So let me go back a little bit. I got to find. There's one particular one on Sakari. So anyway, I'll just talk about it. So I found a mega of malachite ore on Sakari, or chromite ore. It was it ended up between it and the adjacent tile because the mega was like on the dividing line between 2 territories. Ended up being like 730 kiloliters, right? 730,000 liters of tier 2. So my ship couldn't carry all that back, so I sold 330 and made like many millions of dollars, or quanta. And I flew back with the 400K, which was still overloaded my ship, and I crashed a little bit when I landed, but not too bad. So, and I got some cobaltite, some higher tier ore, and some pyrite, some tier 3. So definitely doing good mining stuff. I also wanted to show you that this is really cool. Commander Taco set up the server where you can put factory stuff on dynamic cores. So on my ship, I have 4 refiners, right? And then I have a chemical unit here. And, well, what do you call this thing? Basic chemical industry. And this one's set up to produce X5 fuel, so it needs all all the ores and then oxygen and hydrogen too, right? So if I look right now, we're missing aluminum, so I can't make any right at the moment. Got quite a bit of oxygen and hydrogen in there. But I just, as I see ore, I mine it and I throw it in here, and that makes my space fuel. And then when I get that full, I'll switch to nitron, the atmospheric fuel. So you can make fuel in your ship while you're going searching around. You don't have to worry about buying more or carrying it with you. And you can buy all these basic industries at any of the markets. So I just throw them on the ship and I fly around. And you can even fly around with it running and it'll work fine. Now, if you have mining units, that's not true. Mining units only work on a territory that you have claimed, it'll only work on those territories where you've claimed that item. So, all right. So this scan is done. We have some tier 3 acanthite. So if I want to come get some tier 3 silver, it's right there. It's got the standard amount of the 4 tier 1s. So not that big a deal. It has 22K of limestone and malachite. Oh, yesterday I found 170K of malachite. That's not a mega, but that's pretty good. I'm gonna have to go back to that one. So we'll save that. And if you look at if you look at my map, and I'm linked to a container with all those scans in it. So if I open that up, instead of seeing, let me go back to standard. So when you first open it up, you get in here and you can't see where you've scanned. If you want to see where you scanned and you're linked to that container, you open it up and now I can see where I've scanned, right? So I've scanned in a row from my base. I went boop and I'm headed this way, right? Here's where I found a pretty good, this was coal, 3.1 million, right? And then the adjacent one has 1 million coal. And this adjacent one here has not hardly any coal. So likely that the mega for this one is right here between these two. So when I find a mega, I usually scan everything around it to see what else there is. But yeah, it's kind of interesting that between these two tiles, I got 3.1 million and I got 1.1 million. So it got like 4.2 million. Probably somewhere on this line and probably connected. Not guaranteed, but there's a pretty good chance that mega goes across both of these territories, right? So what I'm doing right now is this is where I've scanned other previous ones here, right? There's a quartz mega. There's another hematite mega. Another hematite mega. Whoops, it didn't move. Oh, that's not one. All right. But anyway, you can see that I've scanned and found quite a bit of good ore. So what you really want to do is you want to scan around until you find some tier 2. Because if you find some tier 2 like I did, and I sold, 330 kiloliters, I made millions. I made plenty enough to get all my factory going, and I've still got like 16 million banked up, or 17, something like that. So plenty of stuff, and I can make my own fuel as I go. So like I said, I set my scan results so I can see where I've scanned, and now I know I got to go here, right? So set my destination over there. I'll look for a decent flat spot. Now if I had a anti-grav unit and I could just stay above all this, I could scan from up there and I wouldn't have to worry about this. But what I typically do, let's go to this next spot and we'll talk about it. What I typically do is, this is not going to work good because this is a very forested place, is I'll get out and I'll look for ore. It looks like there might be a pocket of ore next to me. Don't know for sure. Gotta kind of wait for the ship to stop rocking before you turn on the scanner. If you turn it on too soon and it's rocking, it'll fail on you. So watch it for a second or two to make sure it gets to a few percent. I'm gonna hit build mode, get up on top of this thing, and what I'll do is I'll look around with my ore digger up, and if there's any surface nodes, I'll see them glowing green. And that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm using to make fuel. Because it doesn't take very long for the scanner to run, because Taco put the time down on it pretty short. So it doesn't take that long at all. And so I don't go underground and dig ore. to make fuel with. I just get the surface nodes as I go as I'm scanning, and that usually gives me enough to keep me going with no issues. So I don't see any surface nodes around me. That'd be kind of a glowing green if there were. But anyway, so how did I get this ship? We allow on this server, the Zedvets MyDU server, we allow 2 what we call magic blueprints, where you can bring in up to and including medium cores but not larger. And we'll basically give you that ship for free. It will give you a magic blueprint that will deploy out with all the parts and everything. And that's just kind of an incentive to help you get going and get started, because like going to other planets right now, if I was trying to make my own ship out of parts and go to other planets, I wouldn't be near as successful as I can be with this ship that's already been put together by this one. Was built by Commander Taco, and I did break it. Yeah, I broke it doing admin stuff a little bit and playing a little bit, and some of these parts are too damaged to replace and repair. So I've actually bought these parts. They're sitting in Market 6 waiting for me to come pick them up, and I'll be able to replace these windows and this door and this here. And I've got another one of these I can use, but I'm not too worried about that. And oh, I need to buy this door too. I forgot. I need to buy one of those, replace that door. I don't know about this door back here, but okay. Bottom line, where have I gotten in my factory? I will go ahead and stop the video at this point, and when I get back to the factory, I'll kind of show you where I'm at with that and what's going on. It's not a final factory setup. It's still an intermediate factory till I get where I want to go, but I'll talk to you about all that. So a lot of fun stuff going on, and we'll skip and I'll stop and we'll start back up when I get to the factory. All right, folks, I'm back. I've decided just to fly back to the factory. I've got bookmarked where I want to land, a decent parking spot for my Skyfall ship. I'm going to copy those coordinates. I'm using ArchHUD, so I'm going to hit Enter / Control V to paste my location in, and then I'm going to hit Alt 4, and it's going to turn around, line up on where I want to go, which is there, not too far. I'm going to go ahead and crank up my engines and get them warmed up, and it'll overshoot, come back. I'm going to go ahead and take the brake off and let it roar. It'll line me up with where I'm going, and it's going to climb, in this case, to 1.17 kilometers. If I want to stop that, like I get to 700 or so, I can hit Alt 4 again, and it'll reset it to whatever altitude I'm at, which was 946 meters. So you can just climb up manually and then set it when you get to the altitude. You want to be a high enough altitude not to hit anything, so you need to know the topography and if there's any towers or any player-built structures in the way and stuff like that. So we're good over here. I'll show you how we're set up on mining units and how we're set up on the factory. Notice that I'm not the only one over here. Over there is one of the other players. There's the markets, District 6, and then Market 6 is somewhere over here. And one of the things I want to talk about is, we'll let this thing land here. So I'm just going to let it go, let it autopilot land it, and we'll see where we end up. Hopefully we don't crash. So we're going to put in a ship showroom, right? There's going to be a ship showroom. It's not just going to be ships. It's going to be, hangars, buildings, space elevators, all kinds of ships and stuff. It's going to be massive. And it's going to start over here in this lake. And what we're going to do is put up the showroom and put all the free blueprints that we can find out there in the showroom, and then let you go grab that blueprint if you want it. That can be one of your two. If you find one you like, it can be one of your two magic blueprints that we provide for you as a courtesy. Or it could just be one that you save up and get your factory genned up to build all the parts, or buy all the parts from a player that has a factory, and you build yourself using that blueprint. So Also, what I'm hoping to do here is this is going to be a very massive area that we're going to encompass. It's going to get very large. I want to set up territories, or I should say cores, that branch off of that. It's just going to be a flat surface, like a piece of runway or whatever, off to the side. Set several of those up and allow people that want to sell ships or structures or even factory stuff to set their own stuff up. I'll give them permissions on those particular cores, right? There could be several cores that are used by different people in here. They'll all be owned by the server. They'll be set up by the server, but we'll give you permission to be able to sell your ships or set your ships up and do what you need to do on that particular construct, that particular large core that we have set up. So we're hoping to have not only the Market 6, which is the main market area that almost everybody uses, we're also going to have a massive showroom here of free blueprint ships and structures that you can get, and also player built ships and structures, and if anybody wants to sell stuff, you can sell it on the market, or you can come over here and set up your devices over here where you can sell stuff yourself, and we can have it set up that way. So I'm hoping that this structure that we're going to build here is going to become a very popular place for people to go buy, sell, trade. If you want to sell ore, you want to sell fuel, you want to sell a design for anything, that's pretty cool. And I see the designs of ships changing, right? Now that you can put industry on your ship, I see, for example, I have to use mining units, I have to own the territory, right? So like this territory that I'm on, let's go to the map. This territory I'm on is owned by, 3 of these tiles are owned by my player, 4 are owned by the org. Eventually I'll move all these over to the org. I just didn't have enough money back when I first did this. This is the player next to me, okay? Kahuta. He's got his setup over here, and I think somebody else is over here setting up too. So a lot of people setting up by Market 6 because that's always the case. But what we're going to do is, if I wanted to mine on another planet, one of these other planets that has some of the other ores, let's look at Jago, right? So if I wanted to go get Pedalite or Cobaltite or Columbite, which is a tier 5, then I would need to fly there, own the territory, set up miners, which I also have to produce those miners, right? I have to set my factory up and produce tier 3, tier 4, tier 5 to be able to do that. But why not just build a dynamic core ship with a bunch of containers on it that can move from tile to tile, that has scanners on it, or territory to territory. It has scanners on it, has containers on it, and I'll just scan it, find a large node of ore of the kind I want, and I'll go down and dig it, right? Alternatively, if you don't want to do that, you can just claim a territory, and that ore changes every week, right? So you can claim the territory on Wednesday when it changes over. Find what you want, scan the territories with the newer scanner, find what you want, put your mining units down on your ship, right? You have to claim the territory to do that. Next week, if that ore changes and the ore you want's not there, you simply pull your miners and everything. You just charge them once that week and let them run, or twice. And then you go find another one, you pull the territory unit and do the same thing. You put another one down, right? Now, it does cost to put territory units down, but then you don't have to worry about going and getting the ore yourself and mining down underground. Some people like that. I like that. Some people don't. So there's a lot of options out there, but I see ships being built with this new scope in mind of having my manufactory to produce fuel and other manufacturers like to produce parts and stuff with whatever ore I'm finding there on that particular planet. So let's go look at the factory and see how we're set up here. Along the way, we might take a look and collect some ore here. So this is one of our setups here. Got a little bit of ore. And there's a little bit of ore there, just from the last 8 or 12 hours or so. Here's another one over here. I've only got like 3 of these up, or 4. One has a tier 2. When you come in the game, you have 4 basic mining units and 1 tier 2 mining unit. It's over. I'm not going to go to that one. It's about a kilometer away. I'll go collect from it later, but this is on the way up to my factory, so I'll grab this too. And then I'll get in here and tell this to stack all. I think it's already stacked. Nope, it wasn't. Alright, I'm going to go into build mode because my factory's up above us. Way up above us. Way up above us. I'm actually going to move it back down to the ground. I don't like it being quite this high. Alright, so this is a white silicon panel because I had a lot of quartz at the time. That was the first mega I found. So I made my voxel out of what I had the most of. So I got a lot of stuff going on here. I actually produced a expanded basic container XXL. So I'm going to start building extra large containers. I have set up to produce all my pures up here, all the way for all the tier 1s and tier 2s, and then I have silver here. Silver produces sulfur. I have it. I made transfer units. I have about 25 of those, and the transfer units move what needs to be moved, like the pure sulfur over here, because now I need it to produce catalyst, so that I can produce other stuff. So there's polysulfide. So I got a lot of stuff going on here. I need some pedalite to be able to produce the last thing I need, which is poly. Maybe I don't need it. Well, I need something. I forget what it was. But I need one more thing to produce hubs, and I need some pedalite and some lithium, which the lithium is what pedalite turns into when you pure it. So I'm creating a bunch of stuff here. I've got several uncommon machines made. A little bit of stuff going on, some basic and advanced stuff over here. Got some fuel over here, a little bit. All the different parts and pieces. I don't have everything very automated yet. I want to really work on getting that done. This was where I was creating my transfer units, but I've run out of materials. I need to go restock that line. But I think I have enough transfer units for now to get me going. Over here, I have it set up to produce container hubs, but I don't have everything I need to produce this. So if I want to produce, if you want to know how to produce something, hit K, go to your nano pack, and hit this to turn off show nano craftable only. So we'll go to hub, right? So you want to know what kind of industry parts do I need to create this, right? So everything goes kind of down in a spiral. I was already creating these. I had to create these, right? So if it tells you what you need, uncommon electronics industry is what I need. So I made some of those, and I had all these other parts, so I produced these, right? So go back here. So I have those. I started producing these. I needed uncommon 3D printers, so I made a couple of those. And went over here to the advanced quantum alignment unit, and it needed other stuff, and these need other stuff, right? So I made all that to make all that to make all that to get to this, right? And then I had to create an uncommon electronics industry. I created a couple of those. So as you can see, this is a long process, but I kind of got stymied here when I got to this point because I've created this. This is what you saw over there that I was working on. But in order to create the advanced LED, I need pure lithium. right? Because I need to be able to produce AGLI reinforced glass product. So you can see that in order to create this, I got to have lithium, which I don't have. To get lithium, I have to have petalite, and so I have to go to a certain planets to get that. So if I look at the planets in the system and try to find one with petalite, you see that I have petalite on Jago. I also have petalite on Feli. And then I also have petalite on, is it Talame or Tioma? No, it's Talame. So Talame has petalite too. So then I start looking at the other ores that are there. Okay, what else do I need? I don't need natron so much. I can get that from Mattis. It's much closer. But if I look at Jago, I've got the columbite and cobaltite. But the petalite, the tier 2 and tier 3 is what I really need more than anything, more than the tier 4 and 5. So if I look at Feli though, it has not just petalite, but it has malachite, which is used a lot in the industry. Now I can also get that. I went and got some of that on, what planet did I say? Sakari. So I have a lot of it, but it also has gold nuggets. So this is probably where I would go, because I would go ahead and mine malachite, gold, which is very heavy, so you have to be careful how much of that you mine, and petalite, because I need petalite to continue my industry, right? So I need tier 3s. I need all the tier 3s. And right now I only have a few tier 3s. So I have silver or acanthite, which is found on Alioth. Right, so you've got acanthite, or acanthite, however you pronounce it. That's how I pronounce it. You just got to kind of look around, see what other kind of ores are out there. Deities is close. It's got the pyrite, so I can go get that. Mattis is close. It's got natron, so that's another tier 3. And then I've already got chromite from Sakari. So I've pretty much got, I'm sorry, I've pretty much got those are tier 2s. I've pretty much got some of the tier 2s. I've got some of the tier 3s. I haven't got any garnerite. I should have grabbed some while I was there. And I did get a little bit of pyrite. I should have got the garnerite too. I didn't do that. But anyway, we'll get some of that stuff, and we're going to run into more situations where we need more tier 3 ore. So I'm going to try to get all the tier 3s, and then I'll try to get all the tier 4s as I go. Like I'll grab the gold while I'm trying to grab the more tier 3. And we'll keep moving forward. But right now I'm just making a buttload of parts. As you can see, I got industry running constantly here. I've got a whole bunch of pipe. I'm going to go ahead and use up some of that pipe and throw it over here. So in order for this to produce another expanded basic container, I can look in my containers. I need 3 things. I need basic reinforced frame, basic hydraulics, and basic component, right? So I put enough hydraulics in here that I'm good, right? So I've got enough hydraulics in my container that I'm good. I need basic components and basic reinforced frame XL. And I've got it connected to this container, so I'm kind of cheating and just using that. So let me, actually that pipe needs to not go in there. The pipe needs to go into, I'll probably put it in here. And I've pulled all the hydraulics out, so I need basic reinforced frame XL. There's one. I don't know where I've got them all output, and I've got to look. Nothing in there. Nothing in there. I don't remember where I have them all going. Let's look around. So I might not have, I thought I had them set up to make. Maybe not. What's this? Pipe. Pipe. I forget where everything is. Basic reinforced frame XL. Okay, so it needs steel product in the container. In the container, oh, it needs a lot of steel product. Okay, so so it's got 1736.74. Let's see which one of these we're talking about. I don't remember. It's this one. Alright, so I'm going to go grab some steel product and throw in there. Yeah, there's better ways to do this, and no, I'm not using my transfer units effectively, but hey, we'll get there. I'm going to let more steel product make, and I'm just going to dump a bunch of it in here. So that should turn that back on. And then I should start making, well, I'm also making hydraulics. Good, so I need more hydraulics. I also need some basic components, which I should have a whole bunch of basic components somewhere around here. There we go. That's uncommon. Dang it. Where's my basic? There it is. So let's take some of those basic components out of here. Let's take most of them. About 4,000 of them. And let's throw them in this container. Because it takes a while to make this stuff. So there's one XL reinforced frame. What else did I say I needed? Got enough hydraulics for one or two. I need basic components. So if we look at this now, set up for expanded basic container XXL. So I need one more basic reinforced frame, and it's producing over there since I put more steel in. So that should work. So let's look at how big this container is. Let's see. I made one XXL yesterday. There's more transfer units. Let's throw those in the ship here. See if I got anything else that was made. Everything else is just laying here. All good. All right. Oh, and if you need hubs, this ship cost, well, before I modified it, let's go up to the basic version. Okay, so this ship cost 690,000 quanta or something like that. You can sell parts back for part of that cost, but you can actually take the hub off there. That's what I did. I took a hub off there and put on there. I modified this one. As you can see, it only had 2 containers that are hubbed together. I put 2 more containers on it, and when I did that, I put the wings on. And I also added extra brakes here, 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 up here, extra brakes. So you want lots of brakes, you want lots of adjusters, you want extra containers, you want lift, you want the wings. This ship flies fantastic now. It's just a basic model from that you can buy, but I just did some small adjustments to it, bought all this stuff at the market, threw it on there. I actually took some of the brakes and some of the parts from my landing pod that came down. I took it apart. It's got some of these medium brakes on it. I think these are medium. Yeah, atmospheric air brake mediums, right? I also made some res nodes, right? I destroyed one on my ship. I needed more. So I got in the factory and I produced some res nodes. Oh, there's some uncommon assembly lines I made. All right, so I've got a couple of extra res nodes there produced. And I've got one sitting here, one on each of my ships. So I'm pretty happy about res nodes right now, and I can make more if I need them. So let's jump over here and let's look. So I need to put these here. So I got 18 transfer units, and I've got several out in the factory being used. I should have more set up to save me time, but I haven't done that yet. So this is industry for my ship. I don't want to take that off of there. And I have a deep space asteroid tracker. Put that on the ship yesterday. I went out and looked for asteroids. We might do that in a future video. Tracking down asteroids is kind of fun. Something to do. Also need to make some more cores. Also, there are ships out there that you can take over. When I say take over, there's a whole bunch of ships out there. And when you get out into space, you can actually see the location of some of them. There's large wrecks, there's medium wrecks, there's a bunch of small wrecks out there. Let me look for the ship I'm looking for here. So this is one of the ones I found, and I took one of those extra small dynamic cores and I took over this ship. I found it out in space just sitting there. Showed up on my radar. I replaced the element, the core, right? Advanced, and then it says replace element if the element's destroyed. And you have one in your container. And it had rockets on here. I took the rockets off and put space engines on it. And now this thing, I actually flew it to Sakari when I had that 730 kiloliters of ore in my ship. It was massively overloaded, and I went to the market to sell that 330 kiloliters, and I landed just barely hard enough, but it had so much weight on me it destroyed some elements and killed me, and it destroyed my respawn node, so I couldn't respawn on the ship. So I had to respawn here, jump in this little ship, and fly my butt to Sakari. And this ship's not as fast as my other ship. It doesn't get up to speed as fast because it's just got these little engines on it. So it took a while, but this is it was basically a free ship. The only thing it cost me was these space engines, and I had a tank from either my landing pod or somewhere. I don't even think I had to buy one, but I put it up here. I put a little container on it so I could carry a little bit of fuel or something for it or whatever. Not much, just an extra small. But you can find these ships all over the place. And if you hit M and you go out here into your space resource spots, you can't see them down here on the planet, but when you're out in space you can. It's either space resource spots or points of interest. And they have all of these. Now it's just showing what's on the planet here. But when you're out in space, it shows all of these ships, and they're all named, like mine was named W, and then like 4 numbers, 3, 4, 7, 2, or something like that, dash 16. I renamed it when I rebuilt it. But yeah, it's not a bad little deal. You can go out and find ships. There's PvE is in work. Commander Taco's working on the PvE missions. He's about got them set up. They're coming along pretty good, he said. So anyway, things are looking good on the server. I will do a few more videos. If anybody's having problems with anything, drop us a line in Discord. Go into the Discord channel and go into the DU general chat and just drop a question or comment or whatever in there if you're having concerns, you're having trouble connecting to the server. It's not like rocket science, but it's not super easy either. So if you're having any issues, just come let us know. We'll be happy to help you out. We've helped several people get in, and there's been a little bit of issues, but once you get in, everything's smooth. There's no issues connecting once you get in the first time. But it's kind of like a whitelisted server, and that's just so that we can allow only 2 players per Discord ID, so that we don't have players having 100 characters and taking over the server just because they have so many skills and abilities. Let's talk about skills and abilities, right? I've been on the server for a while. I'm gonna hit F2. So I've got some of my skills and abilities up. I've got a little bit of crafting done. Basically, I set it up so that I could build tier 3 scrap, because when you crash a ship and you've got to repair big engines on it, tier 1 scrap and tier 2 scrap suck, right? So I actually built, let me go back here. So I got my silver here, right? The silver feeds into this to make silver scrap, and then I have my silver scrap here, right? So I've got a whole lot of silver scrap. There's 6,000 here, but I've got about 20 or 30,000 stashed around in other places. I think I got some over here in this container. You want to have some higher tier scrap to be able to, yeah, there's 23,000 right there. So that's 30,000. I have another, in my ship I have another 4,000, right? So I think there's maybe some in this container over here too, but you definitely want some higher tier scrap because it's a pain in the butt if you don't have it. I also set the factory up to produce screens, right? I have extra small screens. As you can see, I have 49. Let me filter this. Quantity high to low. Right, you can see I have 49 extra small screens. I made those so that I am not setting them all up yet because I'm getting ready to move my factory one more time. I had a starter factory. This is my intermediate factory. The next one's going to be fully automated and set up and labeled. Everything's going to be labeled with one of these, and I'll be able to know what everything does. I can put a note on there that say, hey, this feeds whatever assembly line, blah, blah, blah. What we typically do in Zedvets, which is our org and also the server, is we'll go in, and when we set up our factory, all the tier 1 stuff will make one color of voxel underneath it, so you know that, hey, let's say blue might be the light blue, sky blue might be the color for tier 1. So everything that's tier 1 is on a light blue voxel, and then all of a sudden you go to, let's say, purple might be tier 2, and red might be tier 3, and so on and so forth. So we try to color code our stuff so that we can tell what, at a glance, without having to look at each machine, what kind of industry we're talking about. Is it uncommon, advanced, exotic, rare, whatever. So anyway, it looks like I got a lot going on here, but this is still just an intermediate factory that I'm trying to work. Let's see what we got here. So, did it make one? Let's go see if we can get our container rolling. Where did it go? Is it up here? I don't know. Did it put it over here? Nope. Okay. I will have to figure out where it put that part because I have totally forgotten where everything is. So anyway, we'll get it all sorted out and we'll figure out where everything is. And, oh, it might have put it over here. I had some of this stuff fed over here yesterday. That's extra small. Nope, it's not here. Alright, so maybe it's still just working on that, and I thought it was gonna be done. Oh. Alright, so lots of good things coming along. Got the speed between planets fixed, got industry on dynamic cores working fine. As you can see, if I was to go put the right ore into my ship would start producing fuel. As you can see down here on Taco's ship, it's the same ship except yellow. He actually made this ship. He's got industry running on his because we own this territory, so he can run mining units here. And as long as he doesn't leave this territory, his mining units will stay working. All right, so he's got some ore that he's been able to bring in. And he also was producing fuel on this ship as well at one point. He's not now, but I've got some fuel running on mine. I'll probably put some. Where is my ship? Let's go look. Okay, so let's go look because I put a whole bunch of ore in here, right? As I was picking up all the ore out of these that went into my ship. Well, so now it's making fuel. Right, so it's sitting here chunking away, making fuel, and it's putting it all in, right? So I disconnected this one container here from the rest of the other 9 container hubs. I disconnected it from the hub. So this is where my pures feed in, and I have quite a bit of oxygen and hydrogen that I loaded in here previously. And so now there's enough pure here to start producing my space fuel, and then it all feeds into my other 9 containers that are linked to this hub. So I'm building X5. I told it to build 50,000 liters. So there's not enough ore in here to do that. So we will see. Let's stack all. Right? So I've only got so much of every kind. I need to get some of this stuff out of here. But anyway, that's the update on the server. Lots of good things going on. Lots of good things working on the server that are unique. It's It's a dual universe beta-like server, but with all the best parts that came after that and none of the bad stuff. On the industry, or the territories, it's not going to cost you anything for 10 years. You don't have to worry about paying for industry. So none of this work crap while you're playing the game just to try to keep your territories in your possession. So we're trying to make it not work. We're trying to make it a game that's fun. So anyway, I hope everybody enjoys. If you got any questions, feel free to jump in and drop a comment in the Discord. And we'll talk to you all later.